crowd goes wild. Place for good food, served up style. One name, 3 lanes, here we roll. Turn it up, let it go, let it go. Triple P, Triple P. 3 things we love. Triple P, Triple P. Turn it up loud. Panels, pile drivers, plates.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in for the 7th episode of Triple P, the Comic Pod Panels, Pile Drivers, and Plates with Josh Newell. I'm your co-host, Super Dave Miller, but we couldn't do it without the man himself, the promoter of Bayou Independent Wrestling, the creator of Castle Aiden, and the upcoming Dark Minds, Mr. Josh Newell. How you doing?
Man, it's been a good day. It's been a busy week, but it's been a good day.
Good day. You can't beat that.
Not at all. Not at all. We just had a little seafood boil from our favorite food truck. Today was turkey neck, shrimp, sausage, corn, and potatoes.
Oh, man.
Oh, and there was an egg. We had to share the egg, but we did get an egg.
I love turkey necks.
Yes, when they're cooked right.
Yeah.
Now, a turkey neck can be bland, but if you got somebody in there that's, got the herbs and the butters and the spice and everything going, it's good.
Where'd you get all that at?
That is a Chan's food truck, which is, I call it the pink truck, but I think it's I need to just figure out the actual name of her legit business. But I've been calling it the pink truck or saying Chan's for so long that I just I don't know. I think it's like kitchen cooking, but it's the pink truck on Louisville here in West Monroe or Monroe. And it is delicious. And she changes her menu up all the time. This week was seafood boil. Next week, she might do burgers, wings, fries. The week after, she might do fettuccine. Like, she changes it all the time. So,
Okay, sounds good.
yes, I paid her one time to fix me cheesesteaks where I just went to her house because I was craving like a really good cheesesteak. And nobody around here really does a good one. So I paid her a decent sum of money to fix me. I won't say the amount because she ended up using ribeye. I would have been okay if she would have got a cheaper cut of meat and like cooked it up and it was a little more affordable. But when she told me the groceries for me and my wife's cheesesteaks by itself was $55, I was like, I can't give you the amount of money that I said I was going to give you because that covers just the groceries. Like, you don't make anything.
Yeah.
So I ended up giving her more, and we had like a $80 to $100 cheesesteak meal.
Cheesesteak dinner.
But
it's made out of ribeye, so.
Yes, it was ribeye. I told her next time, let's just do like a little flank steak or a little skirt steak or something.
Hey, I'm a ribeye guy.
Yeah, I love ribeye.
And I was on my own last night because granddaughter had a road game that I didn't go to. And so I swung by Corner Market, and they had 12-ounce strips.
Okay.
On sale. So I grabbed a couple of 12-ounce strips and put them on the grill, and they came out great.
Oh yeah, ribeye is my choice. That's my preferred choice.
That's my go-to.
I will dabble in some others like a T-bone here and there, or depending on what we're having, I might get a carne asada at a Mexican restaurant or something. But I definitely ribeye is my choice as long as the wallet's not hurting.
Yeah. Well, I wanted ice cream, so I went with the cheaper steaks and got me some Bluebell hot lava cake. I mean, the lava cake Bluebell is really good.
I've never had it.
It's brand new. It's good.
Okay.
Go out of your way.
Okay. As a diabetic, I don't do too much ice cream.
Oh, it's rich.
But every now and then I'll dabble.
It's rich. This will make your toe tingle.
Oh, I don't know if I need that. I don't know if I need that at all.
I'll apologize for all the background noise.
Oh, that's all right.
She's got a FaceTime with the grandbaby.
Oh.
I'm going to mute. All right. I shame them endlessly.
Oh. I doubt in that brief amount of time you were able to shame them endlessly. Hopefully you asked nicely and they went to a different room.
So, no, I can still hear them. What? So, what's new this week, Josh?
Well,
What's on your mind?
I did just get this in the mail. This is that Hawkman that we all saw online,
Oh,
but now it's actually here. This was done by a DJ that was our guest a couple weeks ago, who also did one of the covers for Castle Aiden and is doing all the lettering. So I'm ready to put it up on the wall, which I'll probably do tomorrow. But Hawkman has arrived safely. Anytime you get an 11 by 17 sent to you in the mail, you're always a little worried
yeah.
if it gets to you safe or not. But it did. And then, today was New Comic Book Day, of course. That's part of why we kind of do these on Wednesday or Thursday so that we can talk comics on that end. I spent $50 at the comic shop Wednesday, and of course, my monthly budget's $100.
Huh?
So when I spend 50 in one Wednesday, I'm doomed.
Yeah, because it seemed like you told me you spent.
I spent about 50 last week.
Yeah, 57, I think is what you said.
Now there was 1 week I only had one,
Hmm.
so that helped. I spent $4.50 that week, so that helped. But I still ended up over for the month by about $20 or $30. And Batman's event coming up doesn't help because Bad Seeds kicked off this Wednesday, and it's going to be an event that goes for the next 10 weeks. So that's going to hurt my wallet.
What's the premise of Bad Seeds?
Okay, Bad Seeds. So Poison Ivy has been the mayor of Gotham for a little while now. And she's done some good, she's done some bad. But even the bad, she had good intentions. She just didn't necessarily still do the right thing, even though her intentions were good. But now everybody's kind of coming at her. Everybody's pissed. They're bringing up her past. They're bringing up some of the actions that she did to get to where we are now. And she feels like she's in a corner. And she's kind of went off the deep end now. So now we're dealing with Poison Ivy at full beast mode with everything that she can muster, all the power she's gained over the last year or two. And there's wild plant life everywhere in Gotham. Everywhere. Like it's taking over the city. So now we're going to get to see all the different pieces of the Bat family deal with it. Nightwing's dealing with it in Bloodhaven. Catwoman's back in Gotham and she's dealing with it. And, Batman's going to be dealing with it in his book. And they're bringing back Gotham Central for 2 issues to deal with it. There's a new one called Gotham General that's a hospital version, of it. And they're doing 2 issues. And they're going to show us the hospital's point of view of this big event. But it's kind of like the Pit. It's happening from sunset to sunrise. So it's all just really one bad freaking day for Gotham. And we're going to see how it folds out. I'm interested in seeing if Poison Ivy's still the mayor by the end of this or if that's done.
Yeah, you would think that if she has a little outburst like that, they'd probably remove her.
Right. And of course, Vandal Savage is the police commissioner. So there's a bad guy in that spot too. And Vandal and Poison are mad at each other. So it's going to be interesting, their dynamic as well.
Okay. Vandal Savage is the commissioner of police in Gotham City?
Yes. And it's caused all sorts of chaos for the last...
What's Gordon doing?
He's just a regular old beat cop.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm guessing that Batman's no longer sanctioned by the Gotham Police Department?
They went after him pretty hard here recently. There's a bunch of assassins in town right now to try and kill him. And then Barbara Gordon's actually in jail. She put herself there. She got caught willingly, but now she's trying to break some good people out, plus find out information about Vandal's activities and different things. So Barbara Gordon's in jail. Batman has assassins after him, and Poison Ivy's the mayor and going crazy.
Now
that's kind of Gotham in a nutshell.
Did they catch Barbara Gordon as Oracle?
No. So
Batgirl?
No, she's just Barbara Gordon.
Okay. Is she walking again or is she still in the chair?
No, she's walking. She's she's fighting. She's fighting in the jail every issue. It has a very what was that popular show? Orange is the New Black.
Well, why did they put her in jail?
I didn't read the exact issue, but I remember that Vandal had said the whole Bat family, the cops were after everybody in the Bat family. And, some people got away. Batman actually blew up the mansion.
I guess I'm confused. Like, if she's not Oracle or Batgirl, then as Barbara Gordon, how do they know she's in the Bat family?
I didn't read the exact issue, but
I'm
from
gonna
what I
have to go now. I'm gonna have to go look.
well, you can get it. It was the issue of Batman right before the Barbara Gordon breakout started, so it would have been about 4 issues ago, and then it went from that episode of Batman into Barbara Gordon breakout, which is on issue like 4 or something right now.
Okay.
I'm not reading the only Batman stuff that we read. Just everything is we have Absolute Batman, and then we get Detective Comics Batman. And Detective Comics Batman a lot of time is like past stories. Sometimes it's in current continuity, but a lot of times it just gives the writer a chance to go back and team Batman with Green Arrow or Black Canary, and do a fun little mystery that is in continuity, but it's like way back. It's not in the current continuity.
Okay.
But for this event, Detective Comics is coming into current continuity too, because it's going to have 2 issues in Detective, 2 issues in Batman, 2 issues in Nightwing, 2 issues in Catwoman, 2 issues in Batgirl, 2 issues in Harley Quinn, 2 issues in Poison Ivy. It's going to have a Sunset event, a Sunrise event, 2 Gotham Centrals, 2 Gotham Generals, and I think I'm missing one. So it's going to cover a lot of ground.
Oh wow.
Yes, but that also is bad for your pocketbook.
Sounds like it.
So I won't be getting every single one, but I am getting the Gotham General. I am getting Gotham Central. I always get my Detective Comics. I'm going to get the Sunset and Sunrise one. So I am getting, and I might pick up the Nightwing one because the write up sounded interesting. It was somebody is from Bloodhaven is going to Gotham with like a bomb, and Nightwing is going to stop them from getting to Gotham. So I am a little intrigued with that too. So I might pick up the Nightwing issues.
Cool.
But
What else did we get this
I
week?
got this week was independent stuff because Vampirella came in. So my wife's already read it. She read it as soon as I brought it home. Dog Tag issue 4 came in. I've been loving that series. Corpse Night came in. What else came in? I grabbed Detective Comics. I grabbed Universal Monsters Wolfman. It's been a fun little series that Joshua Williamson's writing, who's the writer of G.I. Joe, Iron Man, Superman right now. He's very, very talented.
Wow, you just said he's writing G.I. Joe,
Right.
Iron Man, and Superman.
All at the same time.
So he's with Dark Horse, DC, and Marvel.
Well, let's see. G.I. Joe is with Image nowadays.
I meant to say Image, not
yeah.
Dark Horse. We talked about it.
Yeah, he's part of the
Sorry.
Energon. It's part of the Energon universe, which is a lot of your old Hasbro characters. So
Right.
like Transformers, G.I. Joe, ROM, Void Rivals, Mask. They're teasing Micronauts. All those are in the Energon universe, and they're tied together loosely. But for the most part, you can read Transformers without reading G.I. Joe and vice versa. But I love G.I. Joe, and his run on G.I. Joe has been amazing.
I just think that's something that he's writing for the 3 biggest comic book companies
At the same time,
At the same time.
and they're all monthlies. So I mean, that's how far ahead he is. Plus, he's doing this Universal Wolfman. It's just a 4-issue mini, and he's going to be doing Legion of Superheroes starting next month or in October, and that's going to be a monthly as well.
See, I'm intrigued by the Universal Wolfman because I used to watch the Wolfman, the Universal Monster movies on.
Yeah. Well, this is
They
loosely
used to come
based
on every week.
It's usually based off. There's a whole series of Universal Monsters, so you can go back and pick your favorite one. You could read the Frankenstein one, the Bride of Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera has one, Wolfman has one.
I always liked the Wolfman because I felt so sorry for Lawrence Talbot.
Right.
Because it was like it was a curse that he didn't want.
Right. And the fun thing about these Universal Monster series, they can usually hire like a really known artist and really known writer to come in and do it because it's just going to be a little 3 or 4 issue thing. There's not that, I mean, there are deadlines, but like there's not a lot of pressure to get it out at a certain time. So like you can hire some really good people to come in and tell this story. And they've mostly been really good. Most of them. Phantom of the Opera was really good. I'm enjoying Wolfman. It's not on my pull list to get, but when I saw he was the one writing it, I was like, all right, I'm going to pick up this whole series. I'm going to make sure I get it all. Absolute Catwoman came out this week, and it was the best issue of it so far. because I hadn't really been liking it through the first 2 issues, but this issue was good. So it was a good week for comics. Not necessarily my wallet, but it was a good week for
So
comics.
Absolute Catwoman got a reprieve. She'll probably
Yeah.
how many issues does it take for you? I mean, like you're just not into it before you'll bail.
Honestly, I'm pretty loyal.
Hmm.
So it has to be pretty bad for me to bail. There are some issues that I will just grab out of like habit, like, oh, I've been picking up this for so long, I'm not going to stop now. I've tried to wing myself off of some of that. But I don't know. Usually I only make cuts when something like this happens, where there's a big event. Plus DC's coming out with Jonah Hex, Demon, Doom Patrol, all in the next 2 months. Shadow of the Bats right around the corner. Vixen and Static are right around the corner. If I'm gonna take in a lot of these new books, I am gonna have to get rid of some of the old. Now, luckily, some of these are miniseries. Dog Tag's about to end next month. Corpse Night ends next month. Let's see, what else do I got that's about to come to an end? Operation Iron Coffin ends next month. Bloodland is taking a break. Battle Beast is taking a break till next March. So a lot of my stuff is coming off the books, which does open up a little bit of wiggle room. But
Let's talk about what you read this week.
yeah, I haven't read too much because, of course, today is brand new comic day.
Yeah.
So I've been home for about an hour. The wife read Vampirella. I read Absolute Catwoman as far as this week. But Dog Tag is my next read because it's issue 4 of 5, and the first 3 have all been amazing. I did read your Elmer Fudd that you gave me. I did read Batman Elmer Fudd. Tom King did a hell of a job with this because he fits Elmer's voice perfect.
Yeah.
Like you are reading it and you can't help but talk out loud and sound
Yes.
like Elmer Fudd. You can't help but do it. And then the background characters, even though some of them don't have their name, you can tell by what they're saying that like Yosemite Sam was in the building, Foghorn Leghorn was in the building. You know, a bunch of these different characters were there. Now Bugs, of course, has a role to play in it. And then, of course, Batman's there.
Now, when we say Bugs, it's not a rabbit standing there.
No. And it's not Elmer Fudd as far as, you know, what you would picture necessarily standing there either.
Well, he kind of looks like him.
It's a little different. He's a little more intimidating.
Yes.
You know, and what's his name? The pig.
Porky.
Yeah, Porky's in it. And, you know, all these characters are in it, but it's not, you know, exactly how you would imagine them to be. The artwork was really solid. I loved all the scenes with like his shotgun. You know, whether he used it as a punching weapon or he was actually shooting it. I thought that was very well done. I will say at some point I was like, can Batman or somebody else talk? Because trying to decipher Elmer Fudd in every single sentence, I was kind of like, wait a second.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? So by the end of it, I was like, can somebody else do a lot of the talking? But that's not a diss on the comic at all because it was great.
Silver St. Cloud being in it popped me.
Yeah.
Because when I went back and I was getting all my back issues, and I got the whole Silver St. Cloud story arc and how she broke Bruce Wayne's heart.
Right. That was a good choice for that because it was a known character, but also, you know, not mainstream. So it was kind of like a little nugget for everybody that kind of follows Batman and knows some of the lore. I actually liked the backup story a lot. I found myself laughing every time he shot Batman in the head.
Yeah.
And you know, just more smoke came and his face looked worse and worse each shot. And then, you know, it was Bat season, then it became Robin season. You know, and then I liked how Bugs did his normal back and forth where I'm Batman. And then by the end of it, of course, Batman's saying, you're Batman. And, you know, Elmer has to shoot him again because he just admitted he's a bat.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was good. I actually liked the backup story a lot, more than I should have.
It was fun. And, you know, Silver St. Cloud broke up with him because she couldn't accept that he was Batman. She did not want to be part of that life.
Right.
She loved him too much to watch him do all that.
Right.
And spoiler alert, she fakes her death because she's poor. She's Elmer's girlfriend, but you know, she faked her own death to escape the violent lifestyles of both men.
Right. And then
So-
get hired Bugs to help her pull it off. So it was really well done, and the artwork was very good in it. Some of the fight scenes, I guess, weren't exactly what you would expect from like a Batman comic. So if you open it up, don't expect it to look like an issue of your monthly Batman or
Right.
Detective Comics or something, because Batman's not in there doing fight scenes like that. But
But don't expect it to look like Space Jam either. I mean,
no,
this
it's
is
got a
very
gritty-
cleverly written.
Yeah, it's got a gritty realism feel to it, and that's what makes the story kind of neat. If they would have came in there and made everybody look like cartoons, that story wouldn't have hit nearly as well.
Yeah.
So the choice of art and grit and style definitely helped. But it was nice to finish that story and then turn the page and get a backup story with the cartoony art that
Yeah.
you kind of expect that you would see if you opened up an Elmer Fudd Batman book. So it kind of gave you the best of both worlds. You get the real story with the dark grit, and it's told in more of a Batman world. But then you get the fun story, the little short story. I don't remember exactly how many pages, but my guess would be 8 to 10 pages of a short story where you do still get the cartoony. So no matter which one you're a fan of, if you bought this book, you were going to get a little taste of it.
It was fun. It
Yeah.
was a fun read. That's why I've recommended it. I mean, as soon as I got to read it, the first person I called was Richard Hill.
Got you.
And I like I said, I had fun going through all my comic books to find that one for you. And
Now, have you went through all your stuff at this point? Do you kind of have a good vibe for what you still own, what you don't own?
somewhat.
Okay. I have this room cataloged, and I know where everything is. But my wife, when she gets ready to read something, she'll just go say, "Can you get me something from the library?"
Yeah, mine's not cataloged at all. Mine's in a stack.
Yeah, mine's cataloged, but I think I'm the only one that understands the catalog. So the wife definitely is just go get me my book.
I've got a white issue Superman that I'm thinking that maybe I'll get DJ to draw on it.
Okay. Derek Donovan, who did a cover for us, he actually worked on Superman in the 90s.
Oh,
So he and I actually got a sketch card in from him. Let's see here. So he did this little Killer Croc sketch card for me.
hang on, let me put you. There we go.
So I got that in the mail.
Oh, that's so cool.
And this is $20. So like you can get stuff like this, and then if you wanted to take it and get it signed at a convention or something, you could. Whether it was by the guy that drew it or maybe even somebody that just worked on Batman, if they're at the booth, they would probably sign it for you, especially if it was a writer or somebody,
Right.
that, not drawing anyway. But yeah, this is the little Killer Croc. I got some more in too, but I can't show them because I have some plans for them as far as giving them away to some special people. And I
Okay.
don't want them to know who's getting one, who's not, who they're getting, or anything like that. But they're really good too. I would say one of them is like a 10 out of 10. And I'll show it maybe later. I'll take a picture so that after I give it to who's getting it, I can share it with everybody. But it's a 10 out of 10 on that one. And all of them are good, but that one I couldn't imagine it being any better.
Well, let's pivot now and let's talk about your next project. Let's talk about Dark Minds.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. DJ Don Jason Hall did that logo for me. But this is a 5-issue mini about a Mississippi cop in a fictitious town near a Choctaw reservation, which Mississippi does have the biggest Choctaw population in the United States. Them and Oklahoma are pretty close, but Mississippi kind of edges them out.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, Chickasaw is there pretty good too. So we do have some Chickasaw in the book as well, but Choctaw is the main focus. But basically, there's this man that's killing people. He's scalping people, and all the bodies are being found on the reservation. So we have this cop over here in the town of Sugarville that's just doing his thing, being a cop, going to work every day. He has no rights on the reservation. He has no control over there. So he's not really worried about all that. It's in the paper. He knows about it, but he's not worried about it. They just did the biggest drug bust in the history of this small town. So they're riding the high. He goes to bed that night and gets a phone call that there's a scalped body found on the Mississippi side of things. So now he's drug into this whole chaos because now that there's a body on the Mississippi side, there is no avoiding it. There is no running from it. There is no hiding. He has to tackle it. And his partner does not want to at all. So he fights that dynamic. He ends up fighting kind of the police and his police, but also the tribal police and what he can find out and what he can't find out and who he can talk to because they don't all want to talk to a white man. And as it gets a little deeper, we find out the man's only killing sex criminals. So now the reservation really doesn't want to talk because this man's only getting rid of the trash as far as they're concerned.
Right.
So now our main character, yes, he still wants to solve the case, but he doesn't really want to go too hard after a sex criminal either, like a guy that's killing sex criminals either. So we play that dynamic, but then some stuff starts to happen that now he feels like he has to go after this guy. There's a few little incidents that happen that kind of force his hand, like, I got to catch him now. So it's going to be an interesting 5-issue deal. Justin Stewart's going to be doing the pencils and inks, who's our colorist for Castle Aiden. And I just hired a colorist today, actually, for the book that's worked on, like, Marvel and Star Wars. And, he did some Marvel, like, kid stuff. Like Young Juggernaut was one of the books he worked on, a guy named Michael Wigram. I might be saying that last name a little off. But he worked on, like, Young Juggernaut for Marvel. He's done some Star Wars books. I looked through a bunch of different colorists' art and different things, and I think he's going to be the perfect fit for what I'm trying to do. I want it to be a little darker and grittier than what Castle Aiden is. Castle Aiden kind of pops and shines, and there's bright colors. I want this to be a little more like, instead of a beach view, think of the view on top of the mountain.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like this seems pretty heavy.
Yeah. So we're changing the tone up a lot. And again, this is only going to be 5 issues. So this is going to be a hit it, get out. Now, I do have some other stories in mind for that world if people like it. And we can come back and maybe do another 5-issue thing. But this will only be 5 issues, though. And Castle Aiden, on the other hand, we're planning on going as long as people support it.
Right.
It might go 60 issues, 70 issues, as long as people are supporting it. But this will be 5 in, out, tell a concise story. I've already wrote issues 1 through 3, and I started issue 4. I have an outline for issue 5 too. So, I definitely know how it's ending and what we want to do. So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to start work on this November 3rd, and then it'll go till probably mid-January. We'll be on Kickstarter in February. We're starting issue 3 of Castle Aiden September 22nd, and we'll have issue 3 up on Kickstarter in January. So January will have issue 3 of Castle Aiden, and February will have issue 1 of Dark Minds.
When are we going with Kickstarter for issue 2 on Castle Aiden?
Issue 2 will be in October. Because issue 2 is almost done. Issue 2, the covers are done, the inks are done, the coloring's up to page 14, and the lettering's up to page 12. So we can be done with that in 3 weeks. But we want to make sure we get issue 1 into everybody's hands first before we put issue 2 up on Kickstarter. And issue 1 should be in everybody's hands late September, maybe early October, depending on how long it takes at the printer.
Mm-hmm.
So basically a week after everybody gets issue 1, issue 2 is going to be up on Kickstarter.
Cool.
That way, if they like what they read, they can go ahead and, sign up. And now, again, I've said it before, 1 is a lot of setup. So, for people that want action, it might not be exactly your cup of tea, but I promise you the action's coming. Like, we're going to get to the action, I guarantee you. So just stick with us. Plus, you got to stick around for Baymore.
Yeah.
You know, you can't
Well, I'm
just get
in.
issue 1. You got to stick around for 2 and see what Baymore does.
Definitely.
So,
I just
yeah,
hope. I just hope I'm not. I hope I'm not getting so excited about that I'm putting him where I can't. An unrealistic expectation.
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's one thing. I mean,
I'm looking forward to reading it to undo my what I've already like. I've already got it in my head that I'm probably not gonna like this kid, but Baymore is gonna be cool.
right. Yeah, and
And I
that's
don't know because I don't know anything about it, Josh.
yeah, we've kept you in
just
the
a few
dark.
pages. I'm
I've
in the
kept you in the
dark.
dark purposely on this. So
I'm
I want
excited
you
to
in the
be in the
dark.
dark because I'm going to
Yeah.
be on this ride with everybody.
Yeah, and that'll give us a lot more things to talk about, a lot of different perspectives. You know, and we've had fun talking about covers, but here soon we're going to be able to talk about the actual story and the
Yes.
actual plot and where's it going or where do you think it's going. You know, after you read issue 1, I'll probably ask you, all right, where do you think issue 2 is going? And we'll see how close, you know, we'll see how close you are to what actually issue 2 is. So it'll be fun. Well, once the book gets into people's hands, we're going to have a lot more things we can do, and a lot more things we can talk about.
Yeah. Maybe maybe I'll get all the artists to draw on my Superman
There
comic
you go.
like little get
Yeah.
all the Josh universe artists
All
to
right.
do a little something.
And I got a ton of people doing covers. Like for issue 2, Tone Rodriguez, Ken Salinas, Errol C, Jason Turner. Issue 3, you got Scott McDaniel, who did Nightwing, Daredevil, Green Goblin, all that stuff back in the late '90s. We got him doing a cover with
See, I can already tell I'm gonna like that guy because I was a huge fan of the Nightwing series in the
oh yeah,
90s.
oh yeah, me too. That's one of the main reasons I'm sitting here with you as far as talking comics.
Yeah.
We've talked wrestling before on your podcast, but as far as creating this, that Nightwing was very influential.
Yeah, I'm a huge Nightwing fan.
I got a Jeff Johnson cover coming to me this week, which he did Wonder Man. For CrossGen, he did Way of the Rat, which is one of my all-time favorite series, which was kind of a Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee type book, and you don't see that in comics very often. So that was awesome to read, and the artwork was spot on in it. Like it felt like you were watching a Japanese ninja movie um, with English words from Chuck Dixon. So I really enjoyed it.
Well, anything else? Anything else we got comic wise?
Oh, that's pretty much it. You know, I went through several thoughts for the colorist on Dark Minds, so I definitely took that serious. Um, the first person I actually offered it to, just to kind of pull the curtain back, she didn't feel it kind of fit her genre style, that it was a little too, you know, maybe sensitive of a subject. And I'm trying to be tactful while I'm writing this script, but we are tackling some serious stuff. So I mean, it's gonna be a mature read. It's not gonna be overboard. There's not gonna be a million f bombs or, you know, we're not gonna go really deep into the actual crimes that they're committing. But it's a mature read for sure. So I respected that she was like, hey, I just don't think that's the subject matter and tone that, you know, I want to be tied up with for a year.
Yeah.
Because when they agree to this, we're going to be locked up for about a year. That's how long this project, even though it's a 5-issue thing, that's how long this project's going to take. It's going to take a year to kind of get through 5 issues. So it is a big commitment. And then, of course, the colorists, they get paid decent, but they don't get paid nearly as much as the pencils and the inks. So you're also tying a year up on something where the money, yes, it's nice, but it's not like paying your bills by itself for the month or anything.
Right.
Like you're still going to take a bunch of other projects and do other things. So that's also a bigger commitment when it's not like you can take this thing and do it for a year and it's going to take care of your bills for that year. You know, you're committing a lot to it. So I appreciate the honesty and stuff when we went back and forth. I also talked to a guy by the name of Alan Robinson, who currently is doing for Marvel Planet of the Apes versus the Predator, and the artwork was amazing. So I reached out thinking I probably won't get an answer because he's an actual Marvel artist right now. A lot of the Marvel and DC artists don't respond or don't really pick up independent stuff. But he responded, gave me a fair price, and I'm gonna get him to do a cover for either issue 5 of Castle Aiden or issue 1 of Dark Minds. I don't know which one yet. We'll make that decision in November.
Predator versus Planet of the Apes.
Yes, I have no interest in those two battling each other, but the artwork in it is amazing.
It sounds like it.
It's a 5-issue mini, and issue 2 came out this week. So you could probably go to Vans and at least find issue 2. Maybe you could find issue 1 from last month. But just even if you don't buy it, just when you're in there, flip through it and tell me if that artwork don't blow you away. Because I'm amazed.
Intrigued.
I was amazed. I kind of like.
Did
Predator.
you used to go? Did you used to buy into that, like Batman versus Predator, Superman versus Aliens?
They didn't catch me on like those, but what you could catch me on was like Batman versus Spawn, Batman versus Lobo, Batman versus Deathblow. When it was other superhero characters, you could get me. Yeah. Now it was Aliens, Predators, Terminators. Like Archie's about to fight Terminator in something around the corner. You don't really catch me on stuff like that. But if you tell me like Batman and Lobo are about to interact, I'm probably buying the issue to see what kind of interaction we're talking about here. So you can catch me with the crossover stuff, but it needs to be superhero characters, not necessarily your Terminator, Predator, Planet of the Apes, Godzilla. I like Godzilla, but I can only read like a little bit of Godzilla. I'm not going to read like 10 Godzilla comics in a row. I'll read one, take a break, read another one in a week or two, because there's still only so much you can do with that character. You can tell some good stories around it, but there's still only so much you can do with Godzilla, the actual character.
Yeah.
So same for King Kong.
Those don't seem like good comic topics.
Godzilla's having a good run right now, and I've seen some good feedback on it. Some of the stuff that they're doing with Godzilla is they're putting him in unique spots in like art and history. So like Godzilla met Romeo and Juliet. Godzilla met Napoleon. They're putting him back in those time periods, and they're telling the story around Godzilla. So Godzilla's just delivering the blow. Okay. But you're telling your story around Godzilla. And if you do that, I think there's some good stories to tell. But if you're just focused on Godzilla stomping around for 20 pages.
Yeah, that didn't.
Don't get me wrong, the artwork's probably going to be amazing, but you're going to lose me on that story pretty fast. So you just kind of play around the character a little bit, and it's definitely doable. Godzilla's all over the place right now. They're doing like Godzilla versus Texas, Godzilla versus San Diego. So you have that background of Texas, and then Godzilla stomping through it.
Oh, I need Godzilla. I need Godzilla versus Baton Rouge.
They haven't made it yet, but I'll stay on the lookout.
I want the cover of Lane Kiffin in Godzilla's mouth.
Okay.
All right.
As a non-LSU fan, I can support it.
Yeah. I know we got that common ground there. But let's talk about somebody from the south part of Louisiana that is good. I'm excited that we're doing a deep dive on an independent wrestler, one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, and we're gonna do some more over the things. We'll pick some different ones to tackle here and there. But this week, Steve Anthony is the topic.
Can't go wrong with Steve Anthony. Let me tell you. Look at that. Look how young he is there.
Yeah, I think that was at a BIW show. I might be wrong, but I think that was a BIW show.
Well,
he started working for me in 2007.
He did.
And we're in 26. I mean,
you had him in a three-way match.
Deep knowing each other.
July 29th, 2007, he was in a three-way match with Heidenreich and Akaika.
The Smashing Machine Akaika.
Akakaloa.
He was trained by Shawn Michaels at the Shawn Michaels Wrestling School back when Shawn was still there. I think he was in the second class, and I think Sean only did 2 classes, if I remember correctly. Because like the first class was your Danielsons and Spankies and Michael Shanes and all those guys, and I think Akaika was in that second class. He was the first ever BIW champion. Um, he broke his back and kind of ended his career, but it was a shame because Akaika was like on that Ring of Honor buzz. He's from Hawaii, actually. He moved back to Hawaii now. I still talk to him like once a year or so. But yeah, he was the first BIW champion. And it was interesting how I got Steve Anthony for the show because I tried to with Luke Hall, but we couldn't work it out. I don't remember if it was money, if it was the date, or what it was. But he told me, you need to book the best wrestler in Louisiana if you're going to run in Louisiana. And he said the name Steve Anthony. I hadn't seen a Steve Anthony match at that point. I called him, didn't know much about him at all. I mean, I looked him up to at least see like what he looked like and stuff. But this was 2007. I didn't have access to quite as much material as you could now.
Yeah.
So I just went ahead and booked him. And he came, and we didn't know each other from Adam. And I had him in this horrible match because, like, he couldn't showcase. Him and Akaika could have showcased one-on-one. And we were actually trying to get to that, but Akaika hurt his back, so we never made it that far. But, Heidenreich was a character. He was huge. He was strong. He had presence. He had charisma. He had energy. He was not a ring technician by any stretch of the imagination. So to put them in a triple threat, they couldn't do a lot with each other. Like it wasn't good. It was my second show ever. I was just forcing a bunch of wrestlers onto a show. I didn't really have a plan. I mean, I thought I had a plan, but I didn't. I didn't know what I was doing booking. We did have a good match every show. Like Vordell versus Davey Richards happened on that show. And it was the most watched BIW match on YouTube for a decade, maybe still is. And Vordell and Davey Richards killed it. You can only imagine in your head how good Vordell versus Davey Richards is. And that's how good it was. They delivered. But this match did not deliver. Then to make it worse, we doubled down. And Steve Anthony cut a promo about how he could beat Heidenreich, and one hand tied behind his back, blah, blah, blah. So we came back and did a one hand tied behind his back match in September. And it was even worse. So I got this feud going with the best wrestler in Louisiana. Of course, I didn't know it at the time. But I got this feud going with the best wrestler that I'm ever going to have on my roster with Heidenreich, who is one of the most limited wrestlers I'm ever going to have on my roster. And then I'm asking them to go out here. There's a huge size difference, too. Yeah. And then I'm asking them to do this one hand tied behind their back gimmick. And that was horrible. So then we came back in December and we tried to do the blow off, which was a no DQ pinfalls count anywhere. And it was my first attempt at a big show. I had Danny Hodge. I had Dusty Wolf doing Doink the Clown. I had a tables match. I had Jay Lethal versus Vordell Walker. I had a Southern title match. I had a no DQ with Steve Anthony and John Heidenreich. John Saxon debuted on that show. Like, we were doing some stuff. Heidenreich was supposed to pick up Jay Lethal at the airport in Jackson on the way. He forgot and he was late. Heidenreich was always late. So Jay Lethal didn't get picked up. He was too young to get a rental car at the time. Mind you, this is 2007. So he had to do his Black Machismo because he was the TNA X Division champion at the time. He had to do his Black Machismo at the airport and make the airport people laugh to be able to rent a car. They still charged him more, which I ended up having to pay. Thanks, Heidenreich. But so they end up finally letting him rent this car so he can drive from Jackson to West Monroe. But they did charge more because they had to go through some hoops and different things. So Lethal beats, even though he had to deal with all that stuff, Lethal gets there right at bell time. Heidenreich's still not here. So, and that wasn't uncommon. Heidenreich was, I love him to death. The biggest draw we ever had in West Monroe was the first time I brought Heidenreich in because he played college ball here at ULM in Monroe.
Oh, okay.
That's where he played football. So all the coaches and people he knew and different things came the first time. And of course, Heidenreich went on to be a Saint for a little while. I mean, he played professionally. It didn't last very long, but I mean, he did make it to the highest level of football. So I mean, hell of an athlete, super strong, dominant. But again, just he's in his own little world. So he finally gets there around intermission, and we had reworked the show and put his match later and all this good stuff. So him and Steve Anthony go out there, and in the first 30 seconds, they just have some miscommunication, and Anthony takes him down in a front headlock and doesn't let him up for a few minutes. And this no DQ pinfalls count anywhere match never left the ring. It's the worst no DQ match in the history of BIW. And I tell Steve Anthony this to his face all the time. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything I wouldn't say to him. But the worst no DQ match in the history of BIW. It was so bad. But he just, it wasn't vibing. He didn't feel safe necessarily. And hey,
do you know who, when he started, do you know who the first guy he got a win over in a singles match?
No, I don't know.
For ICW, June 16th, 2007, he beat John Saxon.
Okay.
And they kind of married him to Saxon there for
well, wait, what was the year on that?
2007?
No, he wrestled for me in 2007. He had already been wrestling for a long time.
In June?
In 2007.
Yeah, you got your first.
Are you talking about his first win at BIW?
I'm talking about Steve Anthony. The matches that are listed, his first win in a singles match is listed as John Saxon.
Gotcha. And that's
a month before he debuted for you.
Oh, see, well, Steve Anthony's been wrestling since the 90s. Steve Anthony, I can't find anybody.
Then I don't have.
Yeah. Now, a lot of his stuff isn't on Cage Match.
Okay, then my bad. Because 2007 is as far back as Cage Match goes.
Yeah, Steve Anthony's been wrestling since the 90s. He was taking road trips with Tommy Rich in the late 90s, as a teenager.
Wait a minute. In the 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s, yeah.
All right, well.
Yeah, Steve Anthony's been wrestling for over 30 years. He started wrestling in his teens.
He would have had to have. Okay.
Yeah. He was wrestling as a 14, 15-year-old.
Well, listen to this, and I don't have all of his accomplishments. I just picked 4 of them.
Right.
He's a 2-time BIW Southern Heavyweight Champion, longest reigning champion in BIW history.
Yep.
But 2,421 days over 2 reigns. His first reign started on January 25th of 2009. He beat John Saxon for the title.
Right.
And then he lost it in an I Quit match to Vordell May 24th, 2014.
Yep.
I mean, that's a heck of a title reign. He's a 2-time Wildcat champion, 475 days. He's a 3-time NWA Elite champion, 356 days. And then probably his biggest accomplishment. He's a 2-time NWA Junior Heavyweight champion, 275 days. And he did that beating Jushin Thunder Liger in Las Vegas.
Yeah. He also got to beat Tiger. He got to beat Tiger Mask when he was over in Japan too. And, and part of his long reign with BIW, just to make sure it's fair, there was about a 2-year gap there where we only did like a charity show every year because we did shows at the Funny Bone, and we were doing shows at the Comedy Club in Shreveport, and it was one Wednesday a month, and we had already did 3 of them successfully. The 4th one, the ring didn't show up. And this was a ball go. So, and we tried everything. The ring broke down about 30, 45 minutes up the road. I gave a truck driver money to try and get it there. Like, we tried everything. But we couldn't get it there. So the show got canceled. So the venue had to refund all the people that had bought tickets money. And I had to give them the money back that they had gave me. Then I still paid the wrestlers that traveled out of my pocket. I even had wrestlers follow me to my home so I could finish paying. Um, we lost thousands of dollars that one night, and we stopped we stopped running BIW for a little bit. And at the time, the intention was, we're not going to run it. But then we
Mm.
did our once a year Celine show that was a charity deal, and then we came back the next year and did it. And then the itch came back, so we started back kind of full time after that. But we had about a 2 year run there where we only did the two charity shows. And of
You,
course,
you,
Anthony
you,
had the belt during those.
and you lined him up some really great challengers. You had Robert Evans.
Yeah,
You
who of
had,
course not everybody realizes it, but Robert Evans has went on to write for every major wrestling company in the United States.
and
He's
currently with AEW.
Yeah, he's been a writer for WWE, AEW. He's did some TNA stuff. He actually helped develop the Caleb with a K character, which is what made me fall in love with Caleb Conley. And Caleb Conley later came down and became, a Southern BIW champion as well.
Yeah,
So,
Robert Evans is the epitome of underrated.
oh yeah,
He's so
absolutely. He had a
unsung. The
nice
thing
little Ring of Honor run for a little while.
he's just so good. I mean, he's good in the ring, but he's good lining it all out.
Oh yeah, I
Very,
love
very creative.
Robert. One of my favorite matches was him and Scott McKenzie in Arcadia, Louisiana. It would have probably been about year 2 of BIW, but we only had about 100 people in the building, and they went out there and treated it like it was 10,000 people in the building. Robert Evans took a backdrop from the ring to the floor, and I was just like, "Don't do that, don't do that no more."
Oh, when you
Uh,
start asking me top matches that I remember, that my favorite matches, I'll say Robert Evans, Wally Darkman, Sulphur Springs, Texas, for AMW. I mean, the crowd. I felt like the crowd was going to kill me. Honestly,
right.
I mean, it was just the heat was so out of control. It was incredible. You had Andy Dalton, Sanjay Dutt, Jason.
Yeah. Steve Anthony's beat. Let's see, Lance Archer, a couple different times. Rodney Mack, Ray Rowe, the Viking Raider from WWE. He beat him in Alexandria, Louisiana. He beat Micah Taylor, who was an OVW talent and hell of a talent. David Young, Steve Anthony versus David Young, TNA star David Young, was one of my favorite matches in BIW history. I remember, and again, we'll pull back the curtain just a little. I try not to go too much. Plus, I know Anthony gets mad when I talk about too much stuff. But I remember David Young sitting there, and he was on the ground. He didn't know Steve Anthony. He was like, "All right, what you want for a finish?" And at the time, Steve Anthony used the 450, and I was like, "Look, you don't have to take the 450 if you don't want to. Just put him over clean." And he said, "No, as long as he won't bust my mouth out, I'll take it." And I was like, "All right, he won't do that, I assure you." But I remember David was a little uneasy, and then once they locked up, it was cake. Because once you lock up with Steve and you realize how good he is, like you don't have any worries anymore. But yeah, he's beat Angel Camacho, he beat Sanjay Dutt, he beat Rodney Mack, Ray Rowe, Lance Archer, David Young, Vordell Walker, John Saxon, Barrett Brown, Caleb Conley. I feel like I'm missing a few names that we brought in over the years for him. Tim Storm. There's just been so many people that Steve's defeated in a BIW ring. And it's like Izzy James, Bam Bam. Like it's a list of top tier talent. Gino Medina, Terrell Tempo.
He worked a tag team match here on June 30th, 2008. He was on Raw working
Yep.
against Cody and Teddy Jr.
Yeah.
Teddy
I tried to book Teddy Jr. when he got released to come work Steve because they were real close at Harley's.
Yeah.
We just couldn't make it work, but I really, really tried to make that happen. I'm trying to think. Don Juan and Steve Anthony had a good rivalry. There's been so many guys that we've seen amazing matches. The Anthony Green match that we had just a year or two ago. That was amazing. And of course, Anthony's, had a TNA MLW career, but really made it in Japan too. Um, I've just put him in the ring with so many talented people, and he's always delivered. He even when he took the job and moved to Missouri to run Harley Race's wrestling school, he still kept driving down for BIW. Maybe he didn't make quite as many shows. We didn't have him on some of the spot shows, but we still had him on like all the West Monroe shows and Brookhaven shows. He just didn't do some of the spot show stuff, but he was still willing to make that drive for me. And I can't say enough positive things about him. He's the best wrestler that I've ever been around as far as the technical end of it. And you could say early in his career, maybe he didn't have the charisma that some people did very early in his career, but now he has all that too. Like there's not a weakness in his game at all now. But technically, he is definitely the best wrestler I've ever had the privilege to be around. And most people that he's been in the ring with have told me the same thing. So it's not just a promoter that doesn't know the inside and outs of a wrestling ring telling you that. It's wrestlers telling you that. And not just any wrestlers. It's talented wrestlers coming to the back and being like, wow. Plus cardio. You can't make Steve Anthony tired, especially in his younger days. Like, it wasn't happening. You were going to get burnt out trying to keep up with Steve Anthony back in the day.
Yeah, he's one of the most intense people I've ever been in the ring with.
Yeah. He's got into it with me on a few different occasions. Now, it's always out of love. There's a respect definitely between us. But when he's got his intense Cajun going, it don't matter if you're his best friend, family member, whatever. He's going to tell you. And we've had our words here and there and our differences. Now, we've always come back and agreed to either disagree or figured out something we both liked. Because, again, even though I respect him, it's still my BIW show. So we definitely have to look at it and both be happy at the end of this. It's not just going to be the Steve Anthony show, or it's not just going to be the Josh Newell show even. And he's always understood that. And I've appreciated the honest dialogue, because a lot of guys just kind of come and they do what you tell them to do and they leave and it's fine. But Anthony wants to make the show the best that it can possibly be. So what we usually end up doing is taking a little of his idea and a little of my idea and then molding them together and coming up with something that was better than his idea and better than my idea. And we've been doing that for 19 years now. And I hope we get to do it for a couple more, to be honest with you, because he's still delivering at super high level, even though, he's been doing this over 30 years.
Oh, yeah. Him and Alex tore it apart the other night.
He's still, to me, the best in the South. Even now, even all these years later, he's still delivering the best in the South. And I've told all these guys this, but Louisiana is much deeper now. It used to be like when I started, there wasn't nearly as many talented guys in Louisiana. Now you have a pretty deep list. There's your Christian Blakes and your Jordans and your Braxton Hunters and your Frankie Thomases, and you have Suge White and PJ Hawks, and you have a lot of depth in Louisiana. But the top three guys to me in the state of Louisiana that live in Louisiana is Steve Anthony 1, Hunter Law 2, Jaden Spade 3. To me, that's the three top Louisiana wrestlers, and then 4 through 10 fills out with those guys that I just named that are all so talented. I remember specifically the first time I saw like Christian Blake and Frankie, I was just kind of like, okay. It wasn't that it was bad. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel a connection. But later, both of them won me over huge because A, they kept developing and they kept getting better at their craft. But B, like they started getting the it factor. They started figuring out when to do things, when not to do things, how to play to the crowd. Because for the longest, like Christian Blake did all the moves, in my opinion, just my humble opinion. He did all the moves, but there was a connection I felt missing. But then he found his confidence and found his connection, and he connects with every single crowd you put him in front of now. I mean, Christian's a top of the card guy now.
Yes.
By any stretch, by any show. It don't matter if you're talking Louisiana, Texas, wherever. Christian can work any kind of guy you want. And that's just, I wanted to shout out those two specifically because I remember Frankie and and Blake the first time, just kind of being like, okay, solid, but being blown away much later by both of them. And even though he's not a Louisiana guy, Wes Warren, once Wes moved to Texas for a little bit and started training and doing his thing in Texas, he came back a beast. Wes was fine. He was technically, no complaints, no problems, whatever. But when he came back from Texas, beast. He controls the ring now. He has presence. He's improved his look and size. Like, I got nothing but positive things to say about Wes too.
Yeah, he's come a long way. I've been working with Wes since since he started.
Right.
And that's about over 20 years. It's been fun for me to see where people were and where they are, and to the point that when I watch the nationally televised product and I'll see somebody on there and I know somebody that I think's better,
right,
and I don't get it. With no disrespect to people that have made it, it's not like a deal that I'm not saying that there's somebody that doesn't deserve it.
Right.
But I'm like, how do y'all see that, but you don't see this?
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that we don't get the information to, whether it's who they know or what workout program or how good a shape or how good a person, or, they happen to do a tryout on the right night, or, there's just so many factors that we don't know. But there's definitely some question marks where I go, how the heck did they not end up somewhere? And I don't try to do the comparison between guys like, why did they make it and this guy didn't? But I do look at guys and go, how the hell did they not make it? And Steve Anthony's on that list. And again, when I say not make it, I'm just saying didn't make it to WWE or AEW or WCW back in the day, depending on what era we're talking about. These guys mostly all still made it. Because, like in Steve Anthony's case, we're talking about Harley Race's head trainer, NWA World Junior Champion.
Oh, yeah.
Went to Japan multiple times for Noah and New Japan. Respected by every single person he's ever been in the ring with. Came in at the last part of the, not so territory days, but a lot of the territory guys were on their last legs. So he's one of the dying breed that got to learn from those guys and experience that. So yes, he still made it by every stretch of my definition of made it that I could lay out there.
Well,
but as far as just saying WWE, AEW, WCW, why weren't they on it? Steve Anthony, Vordell Walker, Chase Stevens, Brady Pierce is kind of a newer one that I would look at and go, why is he Moonshine Mantel? Like they just seem Alexander Hammerstone to a degree, even though he has made it to TNA and MLW, his look and his stuff, it just screams to me AEW and WWE.
I think that you could make a strong case that Steve Anthony's 20 years too soon.
Yeah, it's very possible. I don't know. He's just one of the ones that I wish would have got that opportunity, but I know his real dream was to wrestle in Japan, and he got to achieve that. Now he would have liked for it to be more steady, more full time.
Oh, of course.
But I mean, he got to achieve his dream in professional wrestling, and probably even bigger than what his original dream was, considering who he got to beat, who he got to perform in front of, what buildings he was in. Probably even bigger than what his actual, at least initial dreams were.
And our fans, our local fans, they don't. That's why I'm always saying, catch these guys on the indies. They're not minor leaguers. They're professional wrestlers.
No, when we have a show,
the indies are not. They've got. Commonly, people think the independent circuit is the minor league.
Yeah.
It's professional wrestling, and
now don't get me wrong. There are some independent companies that are the minor league.
Yes, but not like it. But it's better now than it used to be.
Absolutely, and by definition,
we're blessed.
It's definitely not a minor league.
We're blessed that we have Wes Warren. We're blessed that we have Frankie Thomas. We're blessed that we got Steve Anthony, and
yeah.
I mean,
this next show in Fountain Hill, you're looking at, Jaden Spade,
Yes.
He's done movies. He's done NWA stuff. He's done lots of things. You're looking at Hunter Law. He ran Jay Lethal's wrestling school. You're looking at Brooklyn Barrett, has already been to Japan. You're looking at Chase Stevens, has won several NWA titles and was on TNA and one of the originals for TNA that helped in those early building blocks, laying the building blocks for a company that still exists all these years later. Chase Stevens was a huge part of those early years. You're looking at Bam Bam Malone, who has an NWA world title shot coming up right around the
Saturday night.
corner. Um,
Saturday night, Forney,
yeah,
Texas.
so you're looking at all these guys. You're looking at Alex Arsenal, who has a Canada tour coming up. He's already wrestled in like the Caribbean and Jamaica and things like that. You're looking at all these guys that are so talented. Corey Steed's been to Japan.
Ray Fury.
Yeah, he's not on the next show, but yeah, Ray's one of our regular guys that you're going to catch. Barrett Brown's coming back to us in November, who has been a mainstay over the years of BIW. Back when we had Vordell all the time, that's another guy that had been to every top indie that you could go to. John Saxon, Don Juan. Don Juan had a nice little FIP and Ring of Honor run. We bring in guys that are at that level that they could put up on your screen as an extra for an AEW, a WWE. They might get that TNA tryout or that, trip overseas to Japan, or they might get to go to Mexico. We use the talent that's on those radars and on that level. And 90% of the roster fits that. There might be an occasional person that doesn't, that's, getting a look a little earlier in their career or something like that. But 90% of the roster is usually the kind of talent that you wouldn't be surprised if they popped up as an extra or they got an overseas booking. And that's what BIW does. And there's some other companies that do it too. I'm not just trying to toot our horn only. But we're definitely one of the ones that does that. And I take your money if you buy a ticket to BIW, it's a show that I would have been willing to drive to and buy a ticket to.
If you're on the fence about attending an independent wrestling show, I mean, it's $20 investment.
And if you get them in advance at BIW, 15.
Right. So I'm saying you're going to get your money's worth. But think of it like if I told you that you have the opportunity to go see ZZ Top in a small venue, an intimate setting, you're going to do that. You're going to do it. Oh, yeah. Sign me up.
Especially if it's for $20.
Right. But think of it that way. You're getting closer access. I mean, I guarantee you the money you spend to go to an independent wrestling show, especially BIW, if you spent $300 to go to a WWE event, you're going to have just as much fun for $20 at BIW.
Oh, yeah.
If not more.
And one thing I'll say, if you're on the fence about going to an independent wrestling show, the southern area is definitely better than it used to be. There is still some stuff out there that I don't think is a good representation of what independent wrestling is. Right. But what you can do is take the names of the people on the flyer or in the match graphics or whatever and do a little research. Just Google 4 or 5 of them. And if you're not seeing, pictures, if you're not seeing, statuses where they pop up with, oh, this guy was this or he did this. If you can't find any information, if you can't find pictures, if you don't see them, in front of decent crowds and different things, maybe don't go to that one. Yeah. Or it's a lot of guys that, look like they could be walking around Walmart in their jeans and their T-shirt and stuff like that. Don't go to that one. Don't let that be your, independent influence. But if you go to one that books solid professional wrestlers that have real resumes that you can Google, you can put in YouTube, you can see highlights, you can see real gear, you can see they have gym access, you can see that, they have traveled, they've worked various promotions. They don't just work Arkansas, or they don't just work Mississippi, or they don't just work Louisiana. If they travel and you can see all that, you're probably going to go and get more than your money's worth for $20.
100%.
So, and it's not hard to Google.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I post people and I say, hey, y'all go Google Moonshine Mantell. He's coming back in January or, whatever. And when you Google it, you can see a real resume with real talent and a real look that's doing what they do best. And you can do that with any talent. The internet's an amazing thing.
Yeah. All right.
Last thing on Steve Anthony, your favorite Steve Anthony BIW match. You can only pick one, too. Don't give me a bunch of lists.
Oh, I was gonna say the last one. No, him and Caleb.
Which, the first time or second time?
First time.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a respectful one. That one match of the year that year.
Yeah. Him and Caleb.
I think that's 2 years ago at this point. But that was BIW match of the year that year.
I mean,
and Caleb also won the JCW match of the year that year. So when I put out the graphic for that, Violent J liked my thing and said, "Dang, he won 2 matches of the year." So that was pretty neat. A little interaction with Violent J.
I mean, now I'll tell you one of the matches that I didn't referee that I enjoyed. I watched him in Exodus Prime.
Yeah.
In Mississippi, and they were really good.
One of the first times I ever hung out with Anthony outside of BIW, me, him, and Saxon did a road trip to TCW for Matt Riviera. And it was Steve Anthony versus APOC. And at the time, I mean, this was many moons ago. They had never met each other. And they were in the opening bout. And they were told, 10, 12 minutes, solid, boom, do this. And they ended up having the best match of the night in the opener. And Matt Rivera was not thrilled. He didn't necessarily want the opener to be that good. But I knew, because I knew them both.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's going to be awesome. And they killed it. APOC can tell it better, but there was a finish that they wanted that just wasn't physically possible. Like, there was no way to do it. And I just remember laughing so hard of APOC, like, trying to figure out a way that physically this little roll up and how they wanted it done could happen. And of course it couldn't happen, so it didn't happen. But I remember APOC just laughing and being like, that's not even, science doesn't allow that to happen. Like, you can't do that. Oh, but yeah, they went out and just had such a good match. And they've wrestled for me a million times since. The infamous heart attack in Brookhaven, where the ambulances were called and a nurse that happens to be a wrestler came out from the back and an EMT came out from the back, and the ref was freaking out, and Anthony faked a heart attack to get up on APOC in their title match. and it definitely went too far. It was probably the only night that Steve Anthony was the least popular person in the locker room afterwards, because I can't recall any other night that people weren't coming up to him going, "Hey, did you see this? Did you watch my match? Did you do this?" But that night, the people that weren't mad just stayed away, and the people that were mad let their voices be heard that they were mad. And Steve Anthony just kind of had to take it that night because he deserved it. I was mad. Several wrestlers were mad. Several other people were disappointed. And that's the night that, Anthony got his head shaved and lost the title and went away for a little while. And we laugh about it now. But there was definitely a stretch there where I was not a happy camper. Because, once you call an ambulance,
yeah,
once you for real call an ambulance, that's a big deal. You're talking about finances, but also possibly losing a building. You're talking about, taking them away from something they could be doing that might save a life. You're just talking about a lot of factors.
Yeah.
That now, luckily, we were able to call the ambulance right back, and they never made it out to the building. I don't think they had gotten very far because we made the call pretty quick. But, and in a small town like Brookhaven, that could have been real bad if word would have got around that, a prank call or this or that. And, they might have kicked us out of the building. And
hey, fake heart attacks in the ring have never gone over good. It didn't go over when Fritz Von Erich did it back in the 80s.
No. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still talked about to this day in Brookhaven. It's still a big deal. And he didn't know he was going to do it, in fairness to him. It just kind things were happening. And his plan was to kind of do a brief thing, but everybody was buying it so hard that he just kind of took the act and ran with it 100%. And yeah, it was an infamous night in BIW history
Mm.
for sure.
Well, all right. Let's talk about Claudaddies.
Yeah, we've covered food. I mean, we've covered comics, we've covered wrestling, so we got our food. This is probably my parish restaurant. I think is the best restaurant, and I've said that on here. But this is probably my favorite restaurant. This is probably the one we go to the most. They have a creative menu that kind of goes from Cajun to seafoody to good old fashioned burger. It's not the biggest burger in town, but it's probably my favorite burger in town. They also have boudin egg rolls that are really good. They have char grilled oysters that we love. They have a seafood potato that not
Yeah.
a single wrestler, if you get the large, not a single wrestler that I've ever brought there, and we take out of town people there a lot because it's got a unique menu.
Yeah,
So
I got to have this, Josh.
It's one of my go-tos. I have 3 or 4 things I order, but that's one of them. And
Yeah.
during the summer, they also offer a chicken bacon ranch loaded potato like that.
Well,
so if you don't want
this,
the seafood,
this
you
I
get
have
chicken
to
bacon
have.
ranch. I'm down. I live about 15 minutes from it. Now, of course, during crawfish season, you can get the crawfish and the crab legs. You can get the boiled shrimp year round, and the potatoes year round. Now, their crawfish, I went to every place within about a 30, 40-minute drive multiple times. They're definitely one of the places I enjoy going. But I will say with theirs, it has a very strong lemon taste, kind of in the seasoning and stuff. So if you like that fresh kind of lemon in there with your seasoning, they're probably going to be a place that you would enjoy. But this loaded seafood potato, that's what I get probably 50% of the time.
That stood out to me out of all the pictures I was looking at. That's it right there.
They have a roast beef po' boy that's made of like debris. That's very, 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 very good. It's a very unique take on it, but it's good. They have firecracker shrimp where it has red pepper flakes and a spicy sauce on it that's really good. They just have a creative menu. So when I fly wrestlers in and different things, I like to take them to places that wherever they're at, they probably won't be able to get this.
Right.
The Traps, Catfish Charlie's, Claudaddies are usually the 3 that I kind of rotate. I've taken Larry D, Matt Taven, Caleb Conley, Ace Austin. I've taken a lot of like your fly-in guys to these type restaurants, and nobody's ever said anything bad about any of those 3 that I just named, because Traps has a very creative menu too. But Claudaddies is probably our favorite.
They open on Sunday nights?
Let's see. Yes, they're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So yes, they're open Sundays. So if you're ever visiting your people in Farmerville, let me know.
I'm thinking on the way back from Texas this weekend.
Okay. Well, let me know. If you do, let me know.
They got catfish?
Yes.
Well, Stephanie will be fine.
Yep, they got fried. Oh, one of my wife's favorite appetizers is the Bayou Bites, which is just little small fillets of catfish.
Oh.
And they have a sauce, a little remoulade sauce that they do with it. That's very, very good. And it's an appetizer, but my wife gets it as a meal a lot of times. And it's enough that if only one person's eating on it, it can be a meal. Now, what we try and do if we're going with people that have never been there is like I order an appetizer or 2, they order an appetizer or 2. We stick them all out in the middle and let everybody try a little bit of everything so they kind of get that vibe. Because places that have creative menus and you're not going to be back anytime in the near future, I like for people to get a good idea of the things that are on the table for them.
That's the move right there.
So, yeah. Well, if y'all coming through Sunday evening, just give me a call.
We'll do it.
Let me know a little ahead of time, though, so I can know if I need to eat or not eat that day. So, like, if you're leaning on giving me a call, let me know around lunch or whatever.
Yeah, we'll know because we'll hit the road. I mean, we normally try to get on the road by 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Got you. Oh, so you'd be coming through here around
in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Hey, we saved this for the last because
Spoilers, spoilers,
In
spoilers.
brightest
spoilers.
day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight.
Yeah, production value there, Josh.
We're moving up. I'm gonna have to
Lanterns
give it a raise.
episode 2 dropped, and if you don't want any spoilers, this is the time to tell us goodnight because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Now, I will start on my end by saying I liked episode 1 a little bit better than I liked episode 2. But I will preface that by saying episode 2 left us a lot of Easter eggs there that could be more important to the story. It's just we didn't necessarily get to that part of the story yet. So I feel like episode 2 is probably just as important, if not more, than episode 1. But episode 1, I was just glued. Everything they did,
Yeah.
I was smiling. I was happy. Like, I was just into every single part of episode 1. There wasn't a single part where I was like, or I'm going to go get my Coke Zero now. Or there just wasn't a single part. Where in episode 2, there were a few little parts where I was like, I don't know about that.
I liked. Well, let's start with this. The popular opinion is that these guys are Red Lanterns,
Okay.
and that's atrocitus
Really? Okay.
because the story that he told John is 100% the story of the Manhunters destroying his people.
Right.
So that could possibly be the Red Lanterns.
Now, in the comic books, I loved me some Red Lanterns. Their designs were cool. I liked the rage. I liked the fury.
Yeah.
I liked the bright red popping on the screen, or not on the screen necessarily, but on the page. So in the comic books, I was like during the New 52, they gave the Red Lanterns their own comic book.
Right.
And I was hoping that it would last. But like most things with the New 52, they just try to do too much at one time. You put out 52 new number ones, and most of them get a chance to breathe, especially the ones that are around characters that, haven't had a history of a book. People were going to read Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, but now we're trying to make Red Lantern, Grifter, Hawk and Dove, OMAC, like all these characters work, and they're going to be the ones that suffer because you put out 52 new books in a month.
Yeah.
So
now, I like that he sent John to go get the lantern.
yeah, that was fun.
I like the bird construct. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah,
That John Stewart was able to maintain the bird construct without the ring.
and he wasn't even conscious for some of it because
Yeah.
he was knocked out
And the bird was like attacking,
Yeah.
trying to help him.
to the best of its ability for sure.
So I thought it was kind of neat that he keeps the lantern in a pocket universe, which makes me wonder, is there a chance that he gets Peacemaker out of the pocket universe?
Right.
We could get Peacemaker back out, maybe.
What'd you think of Earl?
I loved Earl. I want to know more about Earl. Earl's fun.
Right. Yep.
This character's fascinating me. I don't think she's a manhunter. I don't think she's an alien.
Right.
I think she might be Batwoman. She might be Batgirl.
Now, wasn't she on the phone asking about Gordon?
She was talking. Yeah, she asked about Barbara. She said she was talking to Commissioner Gordon
Okay.
and asked how Barb was doing. But her last name is Kane. At the very least, she could be related to Kate Kane. Kane is Bruce's mom's maiden name.
Right.
But she even said, I've already been in this situation once. So maybe she's just over,
Yeah.
dealing with the mess in Gotham. But she could be, she might actually be Batgirl. Maybe she's not related to Kate Kane. Maybe she is Kate Kane.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out for sure.
See, when I first heard her name, last name was Kane. I didn't even put that together. I just thought it was like a tip of the hat to Bob Kane, creator of Batman,
Right,
and a lot of DC comics. So,
right.
and we also know that from seeing her in 2026 that, which I don't believe Hal's dead, by the way. I don't think that's Hal.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead either, but I mean, it could go so many ways. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see. I liked the action scenes and stuff, like when he was trying to escape the van. That was a pretty fun little action scene, running down
Yeah.
the highway and stuff. I liked Hal getting shot and having to go spend a little time at the hospital.
Okay. Well, okay, we'll get to that in just a second.
So yeah, there was lots of little parts that I enjoyed. I liked the interrupting the town meeting.
Yeah.
I was a little bored when he went to like go pick up all the aliens, and
Took me a minute to realize what he was doing.
Yeah, and I don't know. Did we need every single? Well, I guess he wanted to check every single one just to make sure they were all aliens.
Right.
But maybe we could have cut a minute.
Yeah, I didn't need to see the guy's dick.
Yeah. Maybe we could have cut a minute
throwing-
and a half.
I'm throwing a flag on that now.
Yeah. Maybe they could have cut out about a minute of that stuff and gave it somewhere else, whether it was Jon Stewart or
DC definitely owes me boobs now this season.
I don't know if you're gonna get those.
Well, I got a dick.
Yeah. HBO likes to do that though.
Oh, God.
You watch like Spartacus. Well, I know Spartacus wasn't HBO, but like Rome back in the day and other things like that. That they like to throw you some little cameos in there.
Mm.
Oz was notorious for it.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
I guess you can't really do
That's
an
part of the
Oz-
story though. So
You can't really do an Oz TV show without it though.
did you notice how uninterested in doing the oath he was?
Yeah.
Like, just charge fucking rain. Just charge the rain.
I liked the little semi charge he did by tapping it on the back of the trunk
Yeah.
and getting an extra % or two out of it. There were definitely parts I liked, and I still liked the episode. I just liked one from beginning to end. Where in two, there were a few spots I was like, yeah.
Okay.
But this lady, Sinestro at the end,
Uh-huh.
and he says, I'm the second, it's the second, Manhunter's the second most dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And then he asked about Jon Stewart. So is he saying Jon Stewart is the most dangerous thing? Or is he saying he's still the most dangerous thing?
I think he's trying to sow the seeds of discontent in Hal.
Yeah. And, there's already been a lot of that lurking with Hal anyway. So, Sinestro showing up is going to be huge. We know Guy Gardner's still got to show up.
Well, yeah, and
We've seen the previews, and we know he's coming.
but here's a working theory. Like, there's a working theory that the whole town's aliens. I mean, especially since the equipment in the hospital is still covered. I mean, the hospital didn't have anybody signed in.
Right.
We don't see a lot of kids in town.
No, I like all the different layers that they're putting in, and then there's a bunch of ways they can go.
Yeah. Well, here's a theory, and it kind of makes sense a little bit. Maybe the Manhunter they're looking for is not like in the comic book, the Manhunters were robots.
Right.
But they're saying the Manhunter. Are they looking for the Martian Manhunter? Are they all white Martians looking for the last green Martian?
I don't think so, but we don't know yet.
Now, if there
don't
is
know yet.
one Manhunter, my prime suspect is the wife, Jon Stewart's girlfriend.
Got you.
Also, I'm kind of wondering. At first, I thought the benefactor would have been Lex Luthor, but in 2016, that would have made him a kid.
Right.
But is there a chance that guy, the husband, is there a chance he might be Vandal Savage?
I don't know. I don't know how much of the I don't know how much of the layers they're wanting to lay from one book to the other. I mean, I know they want the DCU to connect,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they want to go that far into all the lores kind of interlapping. But they could.
I could
Just
see this being a situation where the town is white Martians looking for the last green Martian.
we're gonna find out because we determined last week it's 10 episodes.
8 episodes, but
Right.
also, but the red and I do think that there's something to them being the Red Lanterns. But they gave John Stewart 48 hours to find the Manhunter, or they're going to blow the place up.
Right. Well, we know it doesn't get blown up because we've seen the flashback.
Yeah.
As far as the whole town, now they could have blown up a football field or something like that. But I mean, the
But
town was still active.
I think John's got an issue. I think Hal's got an issue with the Guardians. And have you seen the previews for episode 3?
No.
It's going to be a heavy John Stewart backstory. The Guardian visited his mother when he was a baby. I mean, this has been going on since he was a baby. But there's another camera angle. There's another camera angle there. It wasn't a Guardian, it was a Manhunter. So, I mean, there's lots of people doing deep dives and showing different angles and that say that through previews, they've kind of told on themselves.
Oh, yeah. There's YouTube. You can't turn on YouTube and type in lanterns and not see 75 different breakdowns and reviews and, conspiracy theories and, just different things. It's all out there.
Well, I'm excited for the John Stewart backstory with his family and I mean, like he's talking to the Guardian and she goes, well, normally the first question is why me? And he goes, no, I know why me.
Right.
Because I know why me. But I'm looking forward to seeing this episode because we're going to get some Sinestro. We're going to get the John Stewart backstory, and we're going to start putting some pieces together.
Have they said if Kyle's going to make an appearance?
Hadn't heard.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see if Kyle makes it in.
I mean, you're only supposed to have one ring per sector, but
now I don't think he would be a lantern necessarily. But will we see Kyle? Like maybe at the end of season 1,
no.
Will there be a, hey, my name's Kyle, and we're all like, oh shit, that's Kyle?
Could be. You never know. But this is I think I'm still really
this every Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm into it. But we got to work something else in this week, Josh.
What you got?
Nightfall has been released.
Okay.
Part 1 of the 3-part Nightfall animated movie. I've seen some clips. I've seen Bane and Tim Drake.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm trying not to because they're starting to pop up.
Right.
I mean, I've read the book, so. But this week we need to watch part 1.
Okay.
So we can talk about it next week.
I'm down for that. And in the absolute world, Tim Drake actually just got killed.
Tim Drake got killed in the absolute
for those
universe?
absolute Batman people.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. So there no more Timmy there.
Oh goodness.
So, and poor Tim Drake's had a rough run because they just haven't been able to figure out what to do with him in the regular DC world. And,
yeah, he started out strong, and then they just,
once Damian came around, and he was going to be Batman's Robin because that's his son.
Yeah.
It just kind of left Tim in a weird spot. And of course, they tried the Red Robin thing. They kind of changed his sexuality a little bit too, and they've just tried to find so many different ways to make Tim Drake Robin relevant. It's been hard on them.
Yeah, and then they even in the Batman Beyond universe they made him like a sleeper cell for the Joker.
Gotcha.
The Joker was inside of him.
And of course, the Robins I know you're not this far yet, so I won't go into too much detail, but the Robins in the absolute world are not Batman's Robins. They're Joker's Robins.
Oh.
So it's a whole different thing as far as absolute goes. But yeah, they're not working for Batman. Deathstroke's actually there like general, and then it looks like he's kind of working for Joker. So and Joker's the rich one, and absolute Batman. Yeah, it's I think volume 3 of the trade is either out or coming out real soon. And I know you're on volume 2. So
yeah, I've got it sitting right here.
okay. It's a fun read, and what they're doing with panels in the Absolute Batman is crazy. He put so many little panels on a page that if you do like the panel count on a page, you might see 12 panels on a page because he made them all so tiny.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a creative way of storytelling, and he's getting to do the action. It makes it feel like everything is happening so fast. And that's that's what they were shooting for. But
I'll have to hit up a comic book store this weekend while I'm in Texas.
oh yeah, you can get any comic you want to get your hands on in Dallas.
Yeah.
You might have to go to 1 or 2 different spots, but you can find anything you're looking for.
Well, this has been fun. I can't believe we're already 7 episodes in.
Yeah,
Seems like we just started.
Yeah, so episode 8 next week will make 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months of doing this. And we'll have a guest again soon. I'm going to reach out. Next week we won't, but I'll probably reach out next week and line us one up for the week after.
Sounds good.
So,
well, then we will see you back here next week on Triple P, the Comic Pod. Panels, pile drivers, and plates with Josh Newell. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time on Triple P.